Hey, Friendly Hollow! Okay, it's new. I'm here with
Kitty, Belle,
and Chloe. We've got another fire starter for you. Now this one is similar to the last one, only this time we have a pine cone in there too. Something like this, depending on how your pine cone looks. Now this is done similar with your lint and your paraffin wax. It's already shredded, and then also with your wax paper. Now the catch is that with this one, since we have a pine cone in it, you're gonna want to wait until you get to camp to make this fire starter, because you don't want to take a natural product such as a pine cone that could have bugs in it into a new area. So you'll want to make sure that you find these at your campsite, but you also need permission from whoever's in charge of your campsite to take pine cones. It may be at a campground where they don't want you to take anything, even pine cones from the campsite. They expect you to bring charcoal or all sorts of all your stuff with you. So make sure and get permission before you go picking up any sorts of things in pine cones. And don't bring your pine cones from home because they can bring bugs. But other than that, would you like to see what you need to make this fire starter?
Yeah!
Awesome. For this campcraft, we're going to start out with some wax paper. Now, we like wax paper the best. It works better. You may be able to use some, now I'm going to forget all the names of different kinds of paper. Parchment paper, or possibly some butcher paper. But we like wax paper because it already has the wax on it. So you need your wax paper. Now we have some paraffin wax here, and ours is already shaved. You can find this in the canning section or possibly candle making. You want this to be plain wax if possible. One time when we were camping, we absolutely couldn't find any paraffin wax, so we ended up using some eucalyptic scented wax. That was a little weird on our campfire with our food. So plain paraffin wax with the canning or candle making supplies. You will need a pine cone. Now something kind of smallish. You don't probably want something like that. That's really huge. You don't need anything that big. Something smaller like this. And then we have our dryer lint. And you might need a pair of scissors to cut your paper. But you will want the ends a little bit long, so you probably won't need the scissors. So, campers, are you ready for me to show you how to make this fire starter?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now for this fire starter, I'll go ahead and point out that we have only used the Tootsie Roll method with the two ends wrapped, a Hershey Kiss, where you bring it up around and just have the one end. Would use a lot of paper because of the length of our pine cone. So we don't want too much paper in our campfire because it may blow away. So for this fire starter with our pine cone, we only want to do the Tootsie Roll method. Now we will take our wax paper, and be careful of the sharp edge right here. You can cut your fingers on that. I actually have before. And pull out a little bit of wax paper. We want to make sure that our wax paper is bigger than our pine cone. And you can actually, because rolling it this way, you can probably actually still plan it this way. It depends on how long it is. I actually don't want to. And go back to like this. So we take our wax paper, and we hope our camera doesn't fall over. And go ahead and place our pine cone. There, you can do it towards the end, or go ahead and take some of your dryer lint. Now you don't want too much again. And if you just kind of, that's too much, spread it out a little bit. Wrap it around, and then we'll take our shaved wax. Now we have gone on and shaved our wax. For the girls here today, they're a little bit young to be using pocket knives. Although we just haven't practiced yet. So they're actually old enough, but we haven't practiced yet. So I went ahead and shaved the wax myself, which we'll be doing for this. So I will take some wax and sprinkle it on. I probably don't need quite so much. Okay, now we'll go ahead and wrap this over. We want to swirl it. You want to make sure that your materials aren't falling out the sides while you're working on this. So you Kind of wrap your sides as you go, actually. Okay, now hold it all. Hold your pine cone and your left hand, and you twist with your right. You'll want to twist the same direction you're rolling. And fan your end out just a little bit so it holds better. Now, the other direction, here's our end. And again, twist our end around. And there we go. There is our fire starter with a pine cone, dryer lint, and our paraffin wax. Campers, you ready to make your own fire starters?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now, you can see our fire starters right here on the table. Really nothing that special to look at as far as showing you who did what. But we're going to store these. We're going to make sure and get an airtight container. We're going to put these in here. You want to make sure that these don't get too hot because otherwise they all melt together, and we had that happen one time and it was hard to get our fire started when it just all melted into a brick. You want to make sure that where you keep these, it's not too humid because again, you might have trouble getting them started. Just go ahead and seal your container and save them for your camping. And don't forget, I want to say it again, that you need to clean up your mess. And I, of course, forgot to tell you to cover your table. So I'll have to add that. Cover your work surface. So clean up your mess and make sure and store these and have fun. And as we said, you'll have to look at the other fire starter videos and see which one fits you best. And remember that we aren't supposed to transport pine cones outside. So make sure that this is something you do with permission of the campground that you're staying at. So we'll see you later. Have fun.